Welcome, brothers and sisters, to Health Matters. We are in Palm Springs Seventh-day Adventist Church, and I am so happy to be the person that is going to be sharing with you some health tips. You will learn a lot, not only about physical health, but also about mental health and the most important, spiritual health. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever heard the quote that says, when we eat or drink, we're either fighting the disease or feeding it? You see, this quote captured my attention a very long time ago, and it is very true, but many people don't see it this way. The foods we eat will provide nutrients to our cells. Now, our cells are super important. When we eat, we're giving nutrients, obviously if it's healthy foods. So our cells will absorb those nutrients, or in other words, ingest those nutrients and convert it into energy. Now, our bodies need energy for basically everything. We need energy for walking, for talking, digestion, even sleeping. So without energy, we can't function. Now, the cells from our immune system, they're like messengers. They alert the body that a virus or a bacteria has just entered, and it has to attack it in order to keep our bodies healthy and strong. Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you know how our bodies attack and kill that virus or the bacteria? It is simple. It's through our immune system. Our immune system produces antibodies, and these antibodies will attack and destroy the bacteria or the virus that just entered our bodies. Now, we know that there are certain diet-related diseases such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, obesity. These are just some that I can name, but there are a whole lot of disease. So the diet-related disease, they are just the type of, we could call it like the foods that we eat will help or feed that disease. So we gotta be very careful when we eat, because like the quote says, when we're eating, we're either fighting the disease or feeding it. Now, cardiovascular disease is one of the leading causes of death in the whole world. More than 17 million people die from cardiovascular disease every year, including heart attacks and strokes. Now, just imagine that, 17 million people dying from cardiovascular disease. This is just heartbreaking. Now, the foods that cause these type of disease, they taste good, they're delicious. I'm not gonna lie, they do taste really good. I mean, just compare a cake, a pizza, a burger to maybe some carrots or broccoli. I mean, which one's gonna taste better? The cake, the burger, the ice cream, that's gonna taste much better than some carrots or broccoli, right? But which one's going to be feeding it and which one's going to be fighting it? Processed foods, high sugar foods, high sodium foods, energy drinks, sodas, these types of foods contain poison. Now you're going to tell me, wait, Sister Valeria, you're telling me that these foods contain poison? You see, if they did, I would have died a long time ago. Now, I always say, yes, you're right. So I may be exaggerating when I say it contains poison, but am I really? You see, scientifically, it has been proven that these type of foods do cause this type of disease, like cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular disease. So they definitely contain a poison that is not going to kill you right away, but eventually it could definitely kill you. Now, the people that prepare this type of foods that contain poison, like I said, it's a type of food that is well prepared and well seasoned. It's going to taste good. They're not going to give you something that's unhealthy, that is going to look bad, and it's going to taste even worse. They're going to give you something that's unhealthy, but it's going to look good and it's going to taste even better. You know, just like sin. Satan is not going to show you a temptation that's going to look as it is. He's going to show you something that is appealing, that you're going to want to try it. Just like these people, they're selling these type of foods that are harmful. And, you know, these people don't care about your health. They don't stop and think and say, you know, Sister Valeria likes to take care of her health, so let me see what I could do to help her out in her physical health, her mental health, and her spiritual health. They don't do that. The only thing they care about is selling their product and getting the money. Selling the product and getting the money. Now, these foods contain substances that are slowly going to damage our bodies, our mind, and our spirituality. You see, many people see food as something that is just simply going to take away their hunger. They don't think if the food they're eating is going to be strengthening a disease, if it's going to be feeding it, or if it's going to be killing it and attacking it. They just grab the first thing they see without thinking about the consequences. And let's remember that everything we eat is going to be feeding the disease or fighting it. Now I want to ask you a question. Can you eat healthy and still get sick? Now the answer is simple. It's yes, of course, but the odds are less. It could definitely happen. I mean, we live in a sinful world, in a world full of evil, and the air we breathe is not the same as it used to be. It's contaminated. The foods we eat, they're also not the same as they used to be back then. So there are certain things that we can't control, but I can assure you that God will preserve the bodies of the people who keep His commandments and are willing to take care of their bodies. You know, health is sometimes like money. We don't know the real value until we lose it. Now, let's not be the type of person that has to lose their health in order to value what they had. And now they can't get it back, and they're valuing something that they don't have. We have to start valuing health and see that health is priceless. Health is a blessing. And we can't control everything in our life, but we can certainly control what we put in our bodies. I want to read a quote that says, "Eat your food as your medicine, otherwise you'll have to eat medicine as your food." I prefer eating my food as my medicine than taking my medicine as my food. I mean, that's the reality. Food is medicine. God left all these wonderful and different variety of fruits, veggies, nuts, grains, because they are packed with medicine that is going to cure and prevent many diseases. I want to read in Counsels on Diet and Foods, chapter 1, that says, and I want you to pay really close attention to what I'm going to be reading. It says, "Many have expected that God would keep them from sickness merely because they have asked Him to do so. But God did not reward their prayers because their faith was not made perfect by works. God will not work a miracle to keep those from sickness who have no care for themselves, but are continually violating the laws of health and make no effort to prevent disease. When we do all we can on our part to have health, then may we expect that the blessed result will follow. And we can ask God in faith to bless our efforts for the preservation of health. He will then answer our prayers if His name can be glorified thereby. But let all understand that they have a work to do. God will not work in a miraculous manner to preserve the health of persons who are taking a sure course to make themselves sick by their careless inattention to the laws of health." To conclude, I just want to say, brothers and sisters, it is never late to make a change. And I know a lot of people don't like change. We are used to doing a certain things, or we're used to eating a certain way, drinking a certain way. So it's kind of hard to change. But you know, sometimes change is important. We need to change if that's going to make us better persons. And at first, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be difficult. You're going to struggle a little bit. But God will see your effort, and He will be there to help you in every step of the way. He will be there to guide you. He will be there to help you and bless you. You see, you and God are a team. So you have to put in the work, just like Ellen G. White said. You have to put in the work, and then God will do the rest. James 2:17 says, "Faith without works is dead." So we have to put in the work. To finish, I just want to say that when we keep our bodies healthy and in shape, that is an act of worship to God.
Shine now, let it